Good afternoon and welcome back to Houston Real Estate Today. I'm your host, Steve Levine. What a great show it's been. If you missed any part of this show, too bad. No, you can check out our website at HoustonRealEstateToday.com. All shows since the very first one have been archived on the website as Google videos thanks to Connie Parsons with Lasting Impressions. And Connie at Lasting Impressions is a home stager and has home managers for vacant homes, working with many realtors. On the board of Women's Council Realtors Houston chapter and very active in real estate. And you see the photos on the Google photo album and the videos. That's all thanks to Connie, and we appreciate her being here. And she always picks my hair before we go back on with photos. So Connie, thank you for being here and sponsoring the Flickr photo album and the Google videos for people to watch the shows over and over again. And if you have any questions for my guests whatsoever, either for Coach Dan or for Richard, you can email me at info@HoustonRealEstateToday.com, and I'll make sure you get the answers you need. My financial expert on this show every month, and has been since the day we started, is my great sponsor, Renee Sabater with Urban Financial, even though sometimes we have Corey DiBeradino, as we did last week or the week before, and we also have Tommy Lorenzo, to his vice presidents, and Renee is taking care of a closing today, a very challenging closing, and taking care of his clients is the thing that he does best. And that's always a priority, taking care of your customers. I can say that about Richard, and I can say that about Renee, and taking care of the taxpayers is what Coach Dan does the best, and taking care of his friends too. And we're going to talk to a little bit later with Dan about another cause he's championing. So, anyway, but my sponsor since day one has been Renee Sabater with Urban Financial, a great guy. Been my left seat, my co-pilot each and every show, and if he's not here, he's on his way. I'll assure you that. Make sure he takes care of his customers. Renee started his career in private banking with River Oaks Bank and knew there's a better way to use the internet to take care of customers. He's got a terrific office with great folks, and they can sometimes even take a loan app and close same day, believe it or not. I always ask them if you had a drive-through window, could we do it even quicker? But Renee is qualified for FHA financing. That's the help us out with some of the mortgage meltdown that we've had, and as subprime loans went by the wayside, the no down, no doc, no job, no problem loans are gone. But it's still about getting your credit house in order and making sure you qualify for the loan before you qualify for the home. I want to bring Richard back, Richard Elkowitz, Remax Westside Realtors, talk a little bit more about his side of the equation and helping consumers not only find the right home, but also find the right loan and some advice for a first-time home buyer. What would you suggest?
Well, first of all, Steve, if Coach had been my coach, I know I would have been All-American with that enthusiasm. But I'm fired up now, Coach.
He's a little shy at first.
A little shy.
Then
he kind of warms up after a while. Yeah, no question about it. Well, Steve, obviously the first thing a buyer wants to do, and I'm sure you've probably talked about it on your show many times, but it's really true, especially with the high price of gasoline, buyers really want to get pre-qualified first, whether through their bank, one of your sponsors, but obviously they need to find out what price range, if they qualify credit-wise, and that's just really the smart thing to do first before you ever start looking at a house.
I think with mortgage meltdown, people and the adjustable rate mortgages, people are looking for those homes and saying, now how do I finance? It should really be the other way around. How far in advance would you think they need to start working with a mortgage company to get qualified? How long does that usually take?
Well, it's going to vary depending on the buyer's situation. If they're a qualified buyer, really strong, a bank, a mortgage company can tell them immediately. They'll run their credit, see their credit scores, and it's a no-brainer, obviously. Other times you have buyers that have needs. They have some problems, rather, some credit issues that need to be cleared up, and that could take some time. So it just really depends on the buyer and what their situation is.
So, as we always say on this show, you've got to make sure you get that loan before you get that home. Know and have the confidence that the loan amount will be there at closing table the same time you get there. And working with a professional realtor is very important. Sure, you can buy a home on your own or go to a mortgage company, but yeah, these are murky waters out there, and a top real estate agent and a great mortgage company can help you navigate the murky waters and make sure you get that home at the right price and also with the right loan. And there's always different fits for different loan amounts. Have you found a lot of folks going the FHA route now?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of FHAs again, Steve. The one thing, in reference to what you were talking about, the buyers always had to really be careful about where they made loan application at, and they really needed to use somebody that was ethical. I would sit at the closing table representing the seller, not representing the buyer, and I would see the fees that the buyers would have, the double origination fees, the high interest rates. The buyer didn't deserve that. They could have done better than that. So you really need to pick a realtor and a loan officer that is really going to do the right thing for you, sure.
So I would say start with the realtor first, and they can help you sort out who to use and maybe who not to use in the financing world, and make sure you get the right folks. And certainly that referral, particularly if that realtor works with a mortgage company often enough, they're going to get the same quality of service that the realtor affords with that mortgage company. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, you wouldn't think that a smart realtor would send a buyer that they're working with to a bad mortgage company. You wouldn't think it. However, you just have to, just make comparisons. Go to more than one lender. You don't have to take the realtor's suggestion. You go to that mortgage company. Go to your bank. Get different good faith estimates. I review all good faith estimates for my buyers and from the lender. In fact, we have a policy at our office that realtor does not get paid until there is a signed good faith estimate for the buyer, either one that a realtor did, but I always get one from the buyer's mortgage company and review it with the buyer too.
Richard, thank you so much for that great input for home buyers and people looking for a home, particularly this summer. It's a great time to buy a home with low interest rates and great product out there, and it's going to be a hot summer.
Thanks, Steve. And now with Coach, we'll all have lower taxes too.
Hey,
That's right.
That's the way to sell more homes. And portability, if anybody wants to know about that, let Coach explain portability on his website. Click on Lee County, Florida, and then go to SOH Portability, and then go to television and listen to 30 minutes of the most informative information you'll hear.
Great. Well, Coach Dan, it's a pleasure having you back on the show. I think we only have about a minute left. I know you're championing a cause for a mutual friend of ours that was hurt very badly in a car wreck at 610 in Bel Air. Would you just briefly tell us a little bit about that? And
The short story is this, Steve. That intersection is probably the most dangerous in the state, going north and south, exiting north and south on 59. Here is the solution. Don't make it a speed trap, but make it a safety trap. Go in there and put in those warning bumps like you hear on the road when you get off, and then put a sign up there that says, if you speed, you may be a camera violation. Put that money in a school fund. Then come along and put the orange pylons to prevent the cutters in from coming up in the high-speed lane, stopping dead still, and cutting in. That'll make a difference for everybody and may save your life.
Thank you, Coach Dan, for all you're doing and all you're doing for our friend Steve Ants with ARO Design, Landscape Design. We've got to go to break. It goes so fast this time, my goodness. But if you missed any part of this, you can email us at info@usarealestatetoday.com, and we'll be back with more great information. So don't go away.